There are so many things that we can all do to help ourselves in this area.
Right.
You know, if you need professional help, then get it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We want to do whatever it takes to get us in a good place. Did you know the highest rate of suicide in America is men over the age of 65?
You know, when we found that out doing our research, it really made me sit back and both of us sit back and realized, wow, we really need to take stock of our mental health because we had no idea that was a true statistic.
It was that statistic and others that made us realize this was going to be an area of focus in our retirement.
And you know, poor mental health, besides not feeling well, it leads to weight gain, it leads to heart disease. Clearly, you know, it leads to stress and anxiety and more. It really can send you down a path of destruction, which is bad.
It is. And now that your career is over, you should have more time and more energy and more reason to work on this area for yourself.
So today we want to give you some ideas on how you can reset where you are, you know, and give you some tips on how you can live this stage of life fully engaged, excited, and fulfilled for the next 30 years or more.
Just like our other 4 pillars, physical wellness, relationship, spouse-partner relationship, and wisdom sharing, when you get these right, your retirement begins to really take a new form.
Right. But in order to get them right, you need 3 things. The first thing that you need is a good, clear vision on where you're headed. The second thing is a plan. What are you going to do every day to get to that vision? And then you need to fill your day with habits and routines to get you to where you want to go. Those 3 things are critical.
You know, 7 years ago, for my 50th birthday, Mark and I went to
You're bringing this up again.
Mark and I went to Bora Bora, and it was a trip of a lifetime. All was going well until about the 3rd day in when Mark's phone rang. And after he hung up, I thought for sure he was either going to cry, break down,
or jump over the boat, jump overboard.
Off the boat.
You know, I'm laughing now, but it was 3 years after I had sold my company. I was 55 years old. My weight was at an all-time high. My stress was at an all-time high. I wasn't sleeping. We really needed this vacation badly. My doctor had started prescribing what I call lifestyle meds for cholesterol and high blood pressure, and I was just tipping the scale on losing it. And that phone call was from my CFO to tell me that Monday morning, as we're in a boat taxi headed for lunch somewhere in Bora Bora, that a key team member in our office had resigned. You know, I thought for sure the world was going to cave in, and I was a mess for a while.
You were a mess for about 3 days, and I want to go back to the beginning of the story.
Why? What did I get wrong?
Because we were there for my 50th birthday, right? So it was going to be this great celebration, spend time together, reconnect, and I literally lost Mark for 3 of the 8 days we were there.
But the other 5 were awesome, weren't they? Yeah, they were.
Well, there was the slow journey into the hole, the 3 days in the hole, and the slow journey out. So, needless to say, it was an impactful moment in our relationship and in your mental wellness.
It was. And it started my journey of meditating. Right. And when we bring meditation up, sometimes people look at us a little cross-eyed.
A lot of people roll their eyes.
If you listen, I started meditating right after that.
When I firmly said to you, I did not sign up for this.
I understand that, but if you'd asked me the day before that, would I ever meditate? The answer was no. Right. And this video is not about meditating; it's about mental wellness. But I'm telling you that change in me, if I hadn't done that, I don't know where I'd be today.
Not sitting next to me.
Okay, great. Well, anyway, it was a tough time for us, and we dug out of that hole, and I worked really hard. We've been working really hard together on our mental health. But I want to talk a little bit about what you can do and where we can take this. So you really need to start with creating a vision of what your mental health, and we do this for all 4 pillars. And I just want to tell you, it's not something that gets done in 5 minutes, and it's evolving. Ours actually keep changing.
100%.
But we have a vision for all of the 5 pillars.
So what we want to do is really break it down so it's easy for you to think about, easy for you to follow, and really easy for you to do. The first step is to think out into the future and pick a time frame. 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Pick your time frame.
And once you've got a time frame, you want to start thinking about what your mental health is going to look like or feel like at that time. Are you going to be intellectually healthy? Are you going to be curious, engaged with your friends and your kids and your wife or husband? Are you going to be studious? Are you going to be a learner? Are you going to use this time to actually stimulate your mind?
And then what about your emotional health? Are you going to be confident, optimistic, positive, and even inspired? Yale University did a study on aging, which was so interesting. And those with a positive view of their life, listen to this for a second. If you have a positive view of your life, they found you can actually live 7.5 years longer than those with a negative view.
And we work hard every day on making sure we have a positive outlook on life. And it doesn't happen just like that, but we work on it.
Right.
The other thing to think about is your spiritual health. Where does that fit into your life right now? We found, and with us too, as we get older, as our clients age, this becomes a more important topic.
With this information, begin to describe what your mental health looks like in the time frame that you outlined earlier.
So you've got the beginning of your vision. You have your time frame. You have an idea of what your mental health is going to look like. Now let's add to that some goals or accomplishments that having the right kind of mental health will enable you to do.
Right. And a lot of our clients come to us as we work through this. They'll tell us things like this. I think I want to write a book. Or I think I want to rekindle an old relationship, whether it's a spouse, partner that they need to get closer to, or if they're single and in solo retirement, they look for other relationships, but they really look to rekindle that.
Yeah, they want companionship.
100%.
We all know stories of so many people who are alone in their retirement and get back together with high school or college friends that maybe they dated back then. We want to and we need to fight loneliness. Loneliness is a really serious problem in mental health.
And strengthening all your relationships, even those relationships with your children or sisters or brother, really important. And if you're in an existing marriage, strengthening that relationship takes work every day. Every day.
It does. So let's pull this together and write your vision.
Right.
You've got a time frame, how you think you're going to feel, and what it's going to enable you to do. And why don't we share ours?
Yeah, I'm happy to go first, but mine is it took me a while to write, and it's still a little cumbersome, so I'll definitely give you that. But here's mine. At the age of 90, I will have deep, close relationships with my family and friends, which will enable me to continue to share my wisdom and offer guidance when asked.
And I think that's a great one. And it has
It's a little
evolved.
cumbersome,
Well,
but it's still a work in progress.
We have these written down. We look at them all the time. We use it to inspire ourselves and each other.
Right.
Mine is, at the age of 90, I will be on a path of learning, mentoring, coaching. My mind's going to be sharp, enabling me to have intellectual conversations with family and friends. That's really important for me. I think back on my dad and my mom, and unfortunately my mom had dementia, so that was kind of out of her hands. My dad was an alcoholic, so our conversations weren't the kind of conversations that I want to have with my kids.
Right. And they weren't always timely, right? Most
No.
of his conversations were remember when
Right,
and used
right,
to,
yeah.
right? So now we need to build some habits and routines to get us there. Don't expect immediate change, but please don't give up.
Yeah, and we want you to keep this dream alive. Use this vision or this dream as motivation to do your habits and routines.
So let's talk about where to start. We both began by journaling. And I know, kind of like when you say meditation,
Right.
when you say journaling, people go, oh, I don't even know where to start. But put on paper what is in your mind.
Yeah.
Just start writing.
So we have open journal where we've got just a lined book, and then we have something a little more formal that makes it easier. We actually have a great journaling guide that we'll put in the notes below that you can download for free, and it really gives you a kickstart on how to do that. But every morning we write down a few easy things to keep us grounded,
Right.
happy, and inspired. The first thing we do is we write down 3 things we're grateful for.
And then we write one or more self affirmations. Like I write, I'm a good mother, I'm a good coach, I'm an amazing patient wife.
Oh. Did you write that today?
No,
You
but
didn't?
I
You should
should
write
have.
that tomorrow. So then after we do that, and we do it separately, we plan our day together. We have coffee in the morning. It's about a half an hour. We're going to plan some things that we do alone, plan some things we do together. This morning we rode bikes together. Now we're shooting 3 or 4 videos today. This afternoon we're going our separate ways. We're actually traveling to Austin tomorrow, so we have to pack. So our day's planned out, so we
Right.
know what's going to happen, and it really helps us.
Think of your best listener in your life and grab coffee with them once in a while. So, share some ideas, maybe talk about, meditating, or maybe take a walk in the woods with them or alone. The Japanese call that walking in the woods, for
Forest
mental health.
cleansing.
Forest cleansing,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
When we mention meditation, we do always get funny looks from people, but you would be shocked to realize the number of people, the number of successful people, the number of well-grounded people that meditate. So we
yeah.
get it.
Actually, if you start asking 10 of your friends, do you meditate? Do you meditate? You'll be surprised how many of them actually do it. Headspace, which is an app that we both use, is an online meditation app, just did a survey or a study, and just 15 minutes of meditating using Headspace it gives you a 22% reduction in mind wandering, and I'm a mind wanderer.
You are.
And what you don't
You
have to.
are.
Okay. And a 14% increase in focus. Who doesn't want that? That's
Right.
the thing. Who does not want to have a stronger?
And why not try it?
Why not try
Right.
it? Yeah.
It also reduces and has been proven to reduce anxiety, lower your blood pressure, helps you get better sleep, and all of that obviously improves your immune system.
And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say, in my opinion, and I tell all my 6 kids this, in my opinion, everyone should meditate. There's no downside to it, and it just makes your life better. That's how much I believe in it.
We started this video with sad and scary facts about suicide, and mental wellness is a real problem. We don't take it lightly, and you shouldn't either. But there are so many things that we can all do to help ourselves in this area.
Right.
If you need professional help, then get it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We want to do whatever it takes to get us in a good place.
We hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, please share it with your friends, and please subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below.
And for more retirement lifestyle tips and conversations, click on one of the videos below or go to our channel.